Hey folks, we are back on the Sons of Attila dev server. This time we are taking a look at the F-16C. This is a new upgraded version of the F-16 that's coming in. It is on the bottom of the left-hand column of the tech tree here, down below the other F-16s, which are now going to be foldered, so that's interesting. You can take a quick look at the stats here. This is spaded with a loadout of Sidewinders and a targeting pod. Keep in mind that, again, it's the dev server. All of this is subject to change, and they've already confirmed it's going to be at 12.3, not 12.0. Now, there are a few interesting things about this F-16. Well, before I get into that, let me show you the loadouts. This is kind of the meat. 8 pylons instead of 6. We've got an extra inbound pylon that can take air-to-ground ordnance. Still only the AIM-9 Elves and the AIM-7M. So, no AIM-Rams or anything yet, and no AIM-9Ms. I'll admit, I was kind of hoping for those to counter the R-73s, which, if you watched my first impression on the MiG-29 SMT, the R-73s are going to be insane on a plane that can actually maneuver. The primary thing that you're getting here in the F-16C is access, in addition to the extra pylon, access to the Lightning II targeting pod and laser-guided bombs. You can take 4 of the relatively chonky Paveway 3s. That's in addition to AGM-65Ds, which are the infrared-guided version of the Maverick, as opposed to the TV-guided version. So my first impression when I was looking through these loadouts and did a test flight or two is that this version of the F-16 is going to be like the one-stop shop for USA mains. It's got really good ground attack capability. It can fly out into air battles and do dogfighting. It's got a medium-range semi-active radar missile in the AIM-7. And it's going to be really good for close air support with the AGM-65Ds and laser-guided bombs and the Lightning targeting pod. There are a couple of other things to show you real quick. Oh, yeah, interestingly, the targeting pod now has, like, mouse over stats. It's only listed as radar. I suspect that's going to be different when it goes live. But it's interesting to see that as an itemized thing now, whereas it wasn't before. The radar, again, all this subject to change. You can see they're now itemizing radar_semi-active radar homing as a feature. So I guess the ability to guide a semi-active radar missile is now going to be an itemized feature of the radar set. So hello, redoing my radar video, even if I didn't have to already. From changes to the radar warning receiver, I'm going to show you in a minute. The pilot stats are a disaster here. They're itemizing the radar on the pilot now, so that's good. But this pilot stat also has a bunch of other crap that I don't think is really going to be correct. Like, it's got multiple instances of an IRST auto tracker. The F-16C does not have an infrared search and track here, even with the Lightning targeting pod. So I think this is a mess. Notably, you're going to see that it has the helmet-mounted targeting, the HMD itemized, so that's something. Yeah. And, of course, for the gun, we've got the same familiar M61A1 that we had before with 500 rounds of ammo, so that is fun to play with. All right, I'm going to jump into a quick test flight to show you a couple of things before I go into a mission, and when I get into a mission, you'll understand why I'm doing it that way. Hey folks, so we are in a quick test flight taking a look at the F-16C here. There's a couple of things I want to show you. First of all, you're going to want to notice, again, the 8 weapons pylons. We have that extra set of inbound pylons that I'm occupying with the paveways there, and we've got the Lightning targeting pod. I'm going to show you that in a moment. We do not, I'm hitting my keybind just to verify, even though you can't see it, we do not have an infrared search and track, despite what the pilot tooltip showed us. Let's take a look at the radar. So we've got range presets starting at 19, going all the way out to 148 kilometers, so that's going to be decent. 19 is a pretty good range for dogfighting, and 148 is going to be useful on the EC maps. For dish angles, we've got 3 different presets, not a surprise on a plane like this. And for radar modes, we have search pulse Doppler, that's an all-aspect look-down mode. We have track while scan, so that's going to be fun on the F-16. And we also have regular lookup search mode. So all in all, it's a relatively functional radar set. Now, there's something else I want to show you. Ignore my air-to-ground aiming tips there. I got the CCRP active. Ignore that. There are some changes to the radar warning receiver that you're going to see in a moment. When I get down within range to start getting tracked by that SPAA, you're going to see when my radar warning receiver lights up, it tells me what's pinging me. And you're going to see that when I go out into a live mission in a moment. If this thing would actually light me up. There it is. So you're going to see on my radar warning receiver, we've got 2S6 right here. So it's showing the solid dotted line, the persistent dotted line, showing me that I'm being locked. And it's showing me that I'm being locked by a 2S6. So it's actually trying to do some slightly more advanced IFF kind of stuff, which is really going to be useful in close air support situations. So let me just take care of that real quick here. There we go. And of course, we are lasing that with the Lightning II pod. The F-16C does not have a laser designator built in. Now, with the Lightning pod... Oh, it's a little disorienting. I'll fix it for you there. With the Lightning pod, it's a pretty generic laser targeting pod, but it does have thermals. So that will be quite useful. All right, let's get this thing out into a live mission and see what it can do. Okay, so we're going to spawn into the new map here. This is Rocky Pillars. My understanding is that this is only going to be for arcade battles once the patch goes live, but it's throwing us in here for realistic anyway. Okay, we've got, I took for loadouts a pair of AIM-7Ms and the 4 AIM-9Ls. So hopefully this will at least give us the opportunity to play around a little bit. Something to notice also is the fuel. Like the MiG-29 SMT that I took a look at before, we're starting off with 40 minutes of gas plus the drop tank. So that's not bad. You probably won't even need the drop tank on the smaller maps. Maybe not even on EC if you're a little bit more frugal. All right, I'm going to take a BVR shot with the AIM-7M and see what happens. And we'll crank this guy properly just in case it's actually a person and not a bot. Get in there. Are we going to hit? Oh, we lost the track. All right, well, we'll fire at this guy, whatever he's doing. Oh, something else I want to demonstrate after this AIM-7M does its thing one way or the other. Okay, so the helmet-mounted targeting, right? You can see here I've got helmet-mounted targeting going. And yeah, it's probably not going to hit, but you can see that I was able to use the HMD to target the AIM-9L. I'm going to switch to ACM boresight mode. No helmet-mounted targeting for the radar system, only for the missile seeker. So that is useful information to know about. All right, let me see if I can crank this into a really high AOA turn. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. That's what the F-16 does. Yeah, and I'll do a shameless plug. If you're having trouble getting the F-16 to do turns like that, I see posts on the forums and stuff where people are complaining that the F-16 doesn't perform for them. You really need to check out my review on the plane. You just got to slow down. If you try and go into a turn at Mach infinity, it ain't going to work for you. You got to slow down a little bit. You want to try and be at around 900 kilometers an hour when you're doing the F-16. If you jackhammer in at like Mach 1.2, that's not going to work. Now, something else to notice on the radar warning receiver, again, it's showing us... yeah, I'm terrible at shooting here. It's showing us what's locking us up. You see I got an F-16 tracking me there from behind. So that's always a little interesting to see. Come around on this guy.
Air brake on.
Oh, I'm going a little too slow. That's the problem. And he is out of energy and screwed. That's how we do that. And those guys are having a good fight. I'll let them do it. Come on, buddy. Yeah, there you go. Got him. Okay. All right, so that's the F-16C. My first impression of this plane, again, is that the loadout options with the laser-guided bombs and the lightning targeting pod are going to make this thing extremely good for close air support. In addition to the infrared-guided Mavericks, this is going to be a really killer plane for close air support, and it's still got all of the advantages that the F-16 normally has for going out into air battles and stuff. So this is really going to be a top-shelf option for U.S. mains to have in their air lineup. As always, thanks for watching.